Hello and welcome to Coffee and Cards September 2024 with me, Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk, and today, this month rather, we're going to be using the Round We Go stamps and dies, so lots of beautiful rosettes and stuff. That's out of my kit. And today the colours I'm using are Wild Wheat, Crumb Cake and Misty Moonlight. But Wild Wheat and Misty Moonlight are quite neutral, so you can use whatever you want. Right, so let's get started with the pack, and this is the die you're going to need, the only die we're going to use today to make the rosette. So I'm going to show you how to do that. That's probably the main take-home thing for today. So in your pack you'll have a couple of circles. So you've got a Misty Moonlight circle, which is going on the back of the rosettes. I did realise after I packed the kits I'd not included this, so some of them it's in your white envelope, so have a look, okay, if you've not seen it. So those two, and then basic A6 bookfold card base, some Misty Moonlight and some basic white, and the measurements for these are in the description below, but they are just the standard first and second layers. An envelope and then two pieces of designer series paper, and basically what I've done is I've chopped off the bottom, or chopped off a 5 centimetre strip off a 12 by 12 paper, and then just cut it at 6 inches. I found, because although this is a little bit less than 6 inches, it didn't seem worthwhile saving these little bits of designer series paper, so they are 6 inches each. And what you need to do when you're cutting these out is, I've done this, you can do your rosette with a scalloped edge or a zigzag edge, and decide which edge you want first, and that edge needs to go towards the top of your designer series paper. So for this one I've chosen to do a scallop, but if you decide you want to do the zigzag, then you need to put it the other way up. So I'll cut it this way up with the scallop at the top. If you want the zigzag, you need to cut it that way, and you need to cut them both the same way so your pattern goes the same way on your rosette. Okay, so I've already cut these two out. I was going to do the folding as well, because that takes ages, but I shall chat while I do it. So you're just zigzag folding these. The die scores it for you. Those of us who remember making rosettes by hand, scoring every 1/4 of an inch and hoping that they were all straight. They are all straight because they've been done by the metal die. So the metal die cuts the outlines and scores the score lines for you. So I am just doing a zigzag fold, and what I failed to tell you is the first fold has to be a mountain fold. So your first fold away from your tab is mountain, towards your tab is a valley fold. So if you start from your tab, you're doing a valley fold. If you're starting from the other end, it's a mountain fold. Okay, so I'll start from this end now. So valley fold from the end with the tab, and then we're just going to glue these together. And as you can see, it's quite easy actually. Obviously, if you're not as quick as me with your folding, then you can pause and do yours, and it's worth taking time. As I say, the score lines are there, but it is worth taking time to make sure that you're keeping everything straight. Okay, so mountain, valley, mountain, then a valley, all the way up till you've done them all, and then just give them a bit of press, and then you're going to glue the two pieces together. Now, before I glue them together, I do flatten them out a bit, because it's quite hard to glue them together when they're fully folded. So we're going to glue these two bits together. So as you can see, this is why I wanted a valley here and a mountain there, because I can stick that behind. Okay, in one of the cards on this month I've done this and then changed my mind what colour I wanted on the front, so actually you can see it's this way up, but it's quite subtle, so you can't see it on the card, which is why I haven't bothered making it again. Right, okay, so a little bit of glue. So you want enough for it to stick it firmly, but you don't want so much that it's oozing out. Okay, and you're just going to line those up, and I'm just going to fold and push those around so they're in the right place. Okay, you can see even with that small amount of glue it's still oozing, so you need to get rid of that because you do not want it sticking, all sticking together. Okay, so that's your first one there. So now you've got a continuous strip and you want to make it into a circle. That's not glue, it's the pattern. Oh. Right, so I'm just going to try and put slightly less, so we're going to glue these two bits together now. So just gonna, there we go. Okay, then just glue these, and again just folding them together so that they're in the right place. As you can see, it's a bit harder when you're finishing off your circle. Okay, so hold that a few seconds so that it's properly glued, because you are going to start faffing with it in a minute. And that is the technical term for rosette making. It is faffing. So, right, so now what I'm going to do is just reinforce my creases. Let's just get them all back together. And with rosettes, as I say, they are fiddly, but they're so well worth doing, and having the die to cut them out makes life so much easier. So let's just repress in these folds here. I think we're around to about... See, they do have a mind of their own, and you do have to do them in order. Right, there we go, got it. Okay, there we are. So I want it to go this way because I want those scallops to be on the outside, and I also want the back towards me. Okay, so now that I've done it and I don't have my glue paste ready, it went really easy. I bet you when I do have my glue piece ready, it won't. So glue, and you literally thin layer all over your circle because you are gluing down folds. Okay, and so you want the best chance of it sticking. So let's see. So I'm just pulling gently and pushing that middle down. Right, so there we are. Okay, hold it. Okay, and then we need to position this on the back. It needs to be somewhere near the middle. It doesn't have to be at the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to position that where I want it, pushing those in as far as they will go, and hold. So you want to hold a few seconds rather until it's fixed. But what I'm also going to do, I have here, these little glass jars come with lovely puddings in. So I'm just going to pop that over there, and I'm just going to weight it with that glass jar while I stamp the sentiment. So I am going to stamp the sentiment on the circle here using Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to stick with Time to Celebrate. Okay, I'm just going to pop that on there. Obviously you'll be able to get your head over it to get it centrally. There we go, and then I'm going to show you how I stamped the front of the card. So lots and lots of stamping today. So I'm now going to get one of my white pieces here, and I am going to stamp. So that's my envelope. So I'm going to stamp these rosettes first. Okay, so we've got wild wheat on top, so I'm going to use that one first. And I'm using the smaller rosettes, and you can, the smaller one's got a zigzag edge, the larger rosette's got a scalloped edge, so they both match the rosette die. Okay, so, and I'm starting with wild wheat, and I'm going to more or less follow what I did before, but each one is stamped twice. So I'm going to come down here and stamp this one. Okay, and then I'm actually going to wipe it off I'll show you why in a minute. Stamp it, ink it up again, but stamp it off. You can't just go, when you're going off the plate, tape there, card. If you then rotate it and stamp it again, some of the prongs will have more, or spokes will have more ink on than others because you stamped off the edge of the card. So I'm just going to try, excuse my grey hair, and come in and line that up. Nearly there. Good enough for government work. Okay. And I don't know, I'll show you when we've done a full, the next image. So now I know my rosette's going there, so there's no point stamping there. So I'm going to do like I've done before here. So about there. And when I come up, you can see there's a line of ink there. So if I stamp that now, you will end up with this effect, which you don't want. This is not what we're looking for. So I am going to clean this, stamp it again, or ink it again, stamp it off, and then, excuse my head again, just line that up. It's really hard doing it without standing above. Yeah, and that is nowhere near lined up. It'll do. Right, so, and now we're on the crumb cake ones. Look at the state of that. As I say, we are not making cards in a factory in China here. We are making handcrafted cards and things like that happen. So, let's get that off there. So we're now coming in with crumb cake and we're going to do just the same. So I'm going to pop that one there. And then stamp it off. Excuse my head. While I line up the middle circle, and then the spokes in between the ones I've already stamped. Ooh, look at that. Okay, and again we're going to go up here. I'm going to turn it round so it's nearer to me. Stamp off, make sure it's even. Because this is a bit drier, my crumb cake, I don't have to clean it in between. Just check with whatever colours you're using. As long as I sort of stamp it off and then ink it, it works. But if you've got a juicy ink pad, you know, on the safe side, just wipe it off between. Right, and then I did another one here, didn't I? Just leaving enough room for the little stars. Stamp it off, and then in I come again. Line it up. No, I'm going to have to come underneath. Do take your time doing this, you'll get a much better image if you do. Oh, pleased with that. Okay, so there we go. So that's our rosettes done. So now I'm just going to go back in with the Misty Moonlight to do some stars. Okay, so by this time my rosette should be dry. Yep, it's not jumping up. So I am going to do the same as I did before with this, with the bottom, as I did this circle, covering it with glue. Okay, because it's just going to stick on the points of those folds. So you want it to be nicely stuck. So again, into the middle. Just going to swish it up a little bit. I think that's more middle. Give it a chance to dry. Okay, so oh, and I did put this on a dimension. I'm just looking where I need, so I need some stars round here and round here and round there. Don't need any stars here. So let's get going. So these are quite close together. I'm going to start here and then pop some in there because I don't really want them to overlap. I'll just go there and then down this side here again, not most, that's not going to be showing. Squeeze some in, might do it that way. See which way fits best. Okay, just squeezing some in there, and then you might not be able to see them, but I'm just going to squeeze some in there as well. I am putting some on the corner this time. Let's sneak one. Which is the best one to sneak in? Probably this one. Just sneaking one in the corner there. And I think I did one there, but I'm not sure I'm going to fit one in now. I think we're a bit closer together. Ah, just, there we go. Okay, and so put your rosette back on, and if you're happy with that, you can. If you want, so, there are, do you know, if you want to fill in these gaps, the best way to do it is just use one of the stars. So just try and ink up one. Let's show you how to do it. So make sure your stamp is dry, okay? Blue jeans on today, so I can dry them on my jeans, and pick the star you're going to use, and I'm probably going to use this one here, and I am just going to ink that star up on the corner of my stamp ink pad, and then I'm just going to pop a star there, okay? And then I'm going to do the same again, so just inking up the corner, and I'm going to pop one just there. But you do need to make sure that the rest of the stamp is dry, because if you don't, you'll get shadows. Okay, so there we go, tip number 2. So am I happy with that? I am. Right, so we're just going to assemble the card now. So put the envelope to one side. So this is going on the inside. I didn't stamp it. There is a happy birthday, or you can just handwrite it if you want. So, and we're just going to glue this together and we're done. So I know I say this every month, but I really have enjoyed doing these cards this month. I've also, if you have a look at my YouTube channel, if you have a look at the Stamp Around UK September card, it's also using these, so there's another idea there for you. If I can, because it hasn't been published as I'm filming this, I will tie it to this video. So at the end, there's always a video, a suggested video comes up for you, and I will try and link it to that one. I might have to do it after it's published, I think. But that went live on the 1st of September. And I'm still in August doing these. So. See, I love my fancy nails, but I can't pick a thing up. As we call them in our house, my YouTube nails. Okay, so we're going to stick this one on. And then I'm just going to add the rosette on a dimensional. I think all the cards that feature this will need a large letter stamp, because they are too thick to go on a standard UK postage. So just to be aware of that, to avoid your friends ending up having to pay extra postage, which we don't want. Alright, so just a couple of dimensionals on here. There we go. And that is card number 1 in the bag. So, as I say, looking forward to next week. And then the week after, we shall be, not the week after, October will be on Christmas. Shh. Take care, hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Bye.